right, what's happening, beautiful people? It's your boys, the Beard, the War, back again. All right, man, we're gonna go real quick, man. This is again your boys, Nick Fury. This is my fault. All right, I'm calling it already. I got FBR here with me, Fat
Yeah,
Broken
yeah.
Rambo, and hey, Captain Jack behind the scenes. And the movie we're gonna review today is 2021's Dangerous, starring Scott Eastwood, Mel Gibson. You got Tyrese Gibson, Famke Jensen, Kevin Durant. Written to the channel. And this is like one of those, all right, pick one. And yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is my fault. It wasn't an entirely horrible movie, but it was, right? It's that cheesy action, weird situation movie. I did enjoy parts of it. I'm not gonna lie. It was one of those guilty pleasures that I have of just enjoying those movies that are kind of like a little off the reservation, so to speak.
Hmm,
But
hmm.
you want to get into it? We go to the you want to get right into it, or do you want to go to a trailer recommendation first?
Well, I'd say what? Why don't we just do the trailer at the end and we can rebound since we kind of
Yeah.
kicked off a lot of we're a little out of whack right now, okay? We're down a man and we just had to go and experience this movie. I feel like we're at a new level of trauma bonding. Um, don't worry, Nick doesn't get to pick for next week. Uh, man, okay. So Scott Eastwood is Clint Eastwood's son.
He is.
There is absolutely no doubt you don't need 23andMe or genealogy.com to figure that shit out because you're going to see Clint Eastwood all over this movie. Um, it, all right. So let's just tell a story.
Yeah.
Follow along at home, if you will. All right. So Scott Eastwood has he's got a home arrest bracelet. He's living in like a halfway house. His brother is sending him cards saying like you're gonna get on parole, be off parole soon. Come out to the island. I just bought this place, this entire island off the coast of Washington. That'll come in. That'll be important later. And so he gets these cards and kind of keeps him connected, right? He's got his routine, and he doesn't like being messed with. One day he comes home, his apartment's open, and there's a bad guy in there, and they go for a gun, and oh my God, he's on the run. Makes this to the island. FBI is like slow on his trail, um, very very slow. Jean Grey is behind the wheel for Mika Jensen. And so he gets to the island and gets to the island. He meets the staff of this former Navy base turned bed and breakfast island off the coast of Washington that looks just like a fucking rock wall. I'm not sure who's going to come out to that place. And it's reinforced like, I don't know, they were trying to repel the Japanese Navy back in World War II from this island. Like it's fortified. You get to meet some of the characters of the hotel or the bed and breakfast. The manager, the business partner, Scott Eastwood's brother has suddenly died. Meets his nephew for the first time, his sister-in-law, mom's there. Mom hates his ass,
Mhm.
and he's arrived for the wake, and then more chaos ensues.
Yeah. All right. So basically, what we have here, he's an ex-con. He was arrested by this FBI agent, Jean Grey, 8 years ago, and now oh, well, my brother dies. I gotta go to the funeral, right? So he wasn't really on a run. He literally just went to the funeral, like cut the bracelet off. Was like, okay, you guys know where I'm gonna be. He wasn't even
But
worried
it's
about it.
but it's after he beat the shit out of the dude and then left him tied up in the shower.
Right, because that was what led to, attempted murder. So now he broke parole. He wanted for attempted murder. He's on the island where you
Yeah.
have Tyrese Gibson as the sheriff, who
Yes.
for some reason is giving you creepy criminal vibes, right? I'm like, why are you acting so broody? Like he
Oh,
was like it was
absolutely.
weird. Like he pulled a shotgun and he's like put his hood down. I'm like, are you arresting him or are you trying to murder him? Like I thought he was like part of
I
the
thought
the,
the
the
I thought
bad
the
guys
hood
at
like
some point.
helped. Like I thought he was going for like a concealment kind of sniper ghillie suit kind of vibe, and I was like, oh yeah, that
Something.
makes complete tactical sense.
Don't know. But
Yeah,
Tyrese
fuck
is
your
basically
peripheral vision.
just a cameo appearance because he died rather quickly in this. Spoiler alert. And I do enjoy that he wasn't able to hide behind a plywood box and survive. So the
Oh my God,
bullets went straight through the box.
dude, these are the shittiest henchmen, this side of Smoking Aces Part Two that went straight to DVD. Like, God, like it's such a cliche, dude. Like the one guy gets shot in the leg, and
Uh-huh.
oh my God, they
The
don't even
goofy
put any
hat.
like you feel like you're watching Commando, but like we have nostalgia connection to Commando. And then you
Right.
watch this, and the same logic that Commando should have doesn't
Mhm.
hold, right? Because There is no connection to this film. You're just like, what in the fuck? Oh, and by the way, we forgot to mention Mel Gibson is Scott Eastwood's psychiatrist, who literally phones in his performance the entire movie. He is only on the other end of the phone, and I'm pretty like I'm pretty sure Gibson's like loaded filming this movie because half the time his character is supposed to appear drunk, but like you're just like, uh, I'm just saying, it kind of gives that
Art
vibe.
imitates life. But all right, but I
Close to
will
home.
say that he was the comic relief in this movie for me because every time he's like, "Yeah, call me anytime," and he's literally calling him while he's going through like this whole shenanigan on the island, right? And he's like, "Yeah, just count to 100." Meanwhile, the guy's got people tied up. He's like trying to fight with himself not to kill them, and he doesn't. Like, so he's basically just like disabling them or whatever, but he's not killing anybody yet. And
Oh,
every
it's
time he gets to that point, he's like, "Well, let me call my let me call my therapist," and he's like talking him down throughout the movie. So that part was funny to me. And
so
Mel Gibson was pretty funny as a psychiatrist, bro. And every time he called him, it was like getting further and further down that road of drunkenness, right? Like first he's like making salad, now he's taking a nap, now he's like about 6 drinks in, and
dude.
it's just hilarious.
The last phone call, he wakes up out of his drunken stupor like Jack Nicholson in Angry Management with his fucking hair going nuts, man. I'm just like, well, life imitates art. Um,
Yeah,
anyways, so like that gimmick of him having like that disorder and it's like he can't
antisocial,
yeah, he's
just
antisocial,
yeah,
he can't feel feelings. Like that all makes sense. And they explain away his skills by saying that he was a former Navy SEAL and they diagnose him with this condition. Then they kick him out of the Navy, he becomes a merc, then he gets arrested. And so if you're still following along, we find this all out in the first hour of the film, right? And they're creative because they show that he's got like mad skills. Like he's good with guns, he's good with fucking everything. He's walking around like disassembling shit like John Wick and throwing it in the bushes. And then 10 minutes later, he's getting his ass whooped by somebody that's like half his size because the guy fucking threw on a pair of knuckles after
brass knuckles.
like
I know.
after this guy fucking fucked him up for like I don't know how long he was tied up in the basement. If you can't follow along on the plot at home, we're doing you a favor. Trust me. The 30 minutes that we'll spend laughing at this movie will be better spent than the hour and 52 minutes that both him and I committed to it.
Right. But you can't judge a book by its cover, right? Some
What?
guys may not look like they can fight, but maybe they have hands. I watched Rick Grimes get his ass kicked by just about everybody in The Walking Dead,
Facts.
right? But somehow he was the main guy, right?
Yeah.
But everybody, literally everybody got in a fight with, he lost. I'm like, dude, how's the governor whipping your ass? Like the governor beat him into a coma, like a slow coma. He literally like walked into a coma and passed out at a house like miles down the road. That's how bad the governor beat his ass. So it does happen. But I get what you're saying with that. Now, the part that I thought was funny was when he gets to the bed and breakfast and he's talking to his mom or whatever, and he's like rehearsed how he's going to interact with her, and then she's like, the sister-in-law is like, well, you know, he's like, why is she upset? She's like, well, her son just died. He said, yeah, but wasn't that days ago?
I
like
know,
like
right?
why is she? So
And,
that
and
kind
he,
of gives you an inkling of how this disorder works, because it's
oh
like,
God.
why is she upset? This is like a few days ago that her son died. Like, I don't even get it. Get over it already. That was funny. So I do like the fact that it showed you what the disorder actually, how it manifests itself in day to day interaction. Even though explaining it is, yeah, I don't care about people's feelings and I don't feel any fear.
Yeah,
Okay,
and what's interesting though is the plot gets more and more convoluted as we go on too. Like
it
we're
does.
repeating it in highlights, but even the highlights sound absolutely crazy.
They do.
Because it's kind of like somebody played like action movie bingo and they hit every fucking dot on the map in one movie. Like you're just like, oh, can it get better? Yes, it can. You know why? Because there's a Japanese Imperial submarine naval base that's been hidden away for since the end of World War II, I'm assuming. So like
Yeah,
now
it's
you
a
want me to
World War
spend
II Navy base. Remember that,
yes, but it's a Japanese submarine. So
right?
that
So,
so that means the Japanese built this sub base
or we
under
stole the sub.
okay, maybe we
That's
did.
more believable.
Maybe we pulled a U-571 with all this gold on it. We completely forgot the base was there, the sub was there, and the fucking gold, and we decided to sell this island at twice the face value to a historian because
Hmm.
that didn't scream weird. Yeah, so at the end of the day, that's what actually happens in this movie, by the way. He's got like the whole Scooby-Doo wine rack entrance into the fucking sub base and all kinds of shit. So Kevin Durant shows up with his goofy ass bang, D D
Band of
class
Brothers.
villains. Yeah, Band of Brothers. Um, And they slowly but surely get their asses kicked over and over again because he doesn't kill anybody. So like it's great. When Five Guys got off, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a boring action movie. No, no, he just doesn't kill them, so they just keep coming back. Like it's a game of Mario, and they just keep getting brought back to life.
Right. And the shotgun blast to the face doesn't
Oh
kill
my
you.
God.
This dude took buckshot to the face, like to the
That poor
face. Okay.
bastard got so fucked up in this movie, dude. Multiple gunshots. Yeah. Completely like fucking two-faced his ass.
Right. And he just walked it off. He's like,
No,
oh, my eye. It wasn't like, oh, you screaming. He's like, oh, my eye. Like, no, dude, your face got, you got shot in the face with a shotgun. Like,
yeah, man.
I needed more of a reaction to that. Right.
He's back in the movie 5 minutes later looking like Dennis Hopper in Waterworld.
Right. Just this made up bandage, like a tie
Yeah,
over his eye. Like,
I'll
okay.
be
All right.
fine. Dude,
Yeah. I'm walking off.
there is no contract in the world that I am taking when that happens. And I'm just like, you know what, man? This is still worth the payout. Fuck no.
Yeah.
At
Well,
some
we don't know
point,
what
you
the
just,
payout was, but they were getting half of what, what's his name? Wimper's amount, right? When he shot him, like,
oh,
yeah, we'll get his
fucking
cut. Oh, well, what cut
Cousin
is that?
Eddie, the dude with,
Right? Weird. And you knew the
he's
guy was
wearing
gonna
the Cousin Eddie hat. That's why I call him
yeah,
that.
you knew the guy was gonna get it. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was it
Instant.
was a predictable movie. I will say the part where he actually operates the machine gun on the sub.
The unlimited ammo.
Oh yeah, and just the sheer glory on his face. Like that was the first time you saw real emotion out of him, man. And he was having a time. But then he's on the phone with the doctor again in the middle of a firefight. Like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
well now what if like he's giving these hypotheticals? He's like, what is that? He's like, oh yeah, they're shooting at us. He's like, well, defend yourself. He's like, well, you left that part out. Like, dude, do what you got to do to survive. And I kind of gave him the green light to go ahead
Hey,
and
man.
Activate.
You got to give
But
it to him.
yeah,
The man is working his program.
he
So
is
up
to a
until this
T.
point, he's been medicated, right? So now he's off the medication, and this is the scene. These are the parts where you get to actually see like he is truly Clint's son.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
swear to God, man, he had the line isn't important, but how he delivered it was like I felt like I was watching Dirty Harry for the first time, and when Clint draws the 357 at the end, he's like, do you feel lucky? That famous quote. Um, he
yeah.
did his best impression of his dad possible in this film that I've seen him in, and he's actually Scott Eastwood's been in some bigger movies, like he was in
Oh yeah,
Suicide Squad.
Fast and Furious. Yeah,
He's starting to work his way into these bigger franchises, kind of like Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell, and Goldie Hawn's son,
right.
as U.S. agent. But dude, like down to his like brow and all kinds of shit. That is Clint Eastwood's kid, man. No
Fitting
fucking doubt.
image. And my girlfriend doesn't see it. Kristen
Really.
doesn't.
I
She
saw it for
doesn't
sure
see
in
it.
that movie made me a believer that, yeah. And
Yeah.
then yeah, Kevin Durant, dude, like that guy is easily the best part of the film, and yet that's not saying much. Like much love for the guy as an actor. And my recommendation is going to support him further because this movie ain't it. But like out of everyone that was fun to watch in this movie, I would say Scott Eastwood was enjoyable. Gibson kind of steals the show a little bit, but Kevin Durant, man, he delivers as a good villain. Now the fight choreography was atrocious,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely atrocious. And that what I mean, you probably put those guys in their early 30s, maybe mid 30s. So mom's probably in her 60s. That woman's got some like upper body
Upper body
strength
strength.
and
Yes.
finger strength because she holds on to that grate for like the slowest, shittiest fight known to man. It probably lasts like 10 minutes. And then he's
Right.
like, oh, I'm just gonna pull you up. Oh, hey, mom. I
And
know
she
you
went
hate
down to
me.
one arm and
Oh,
then
did
got
she?
back and then back up with two. Like, do you understand how hard that is?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But yeah,
Especially when
mom
you're holding
has
on like
some
this.
manual dexterity.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
for
But
real.
yeah, man. But we pushed through. We made it. And then of course mom and son make up at the end. We
Oh
lose
yeah.
we lose a couple of people. Like, we lost a little archaeology buddy. He gets, killed at the submarine fight. And
Yeah,
I
after
don't know.
surviving everything.
Right, and but the funny part was they always wanted him to like, why did you kill him? Well, you guys are telling him that he's the reason why you're in this, but yet you want him to go ahead and just murder people. He's like, well, why don't you do it? Like, he's like, well, I'm not well, he didn't do it. Like the first time she said, well, isn't he a bad guy? Well, kill him. He said, well, go ahead. He's like, I'm not stopping you. But she didn't want to do it, right? So
Yeah.
everyone is like, shoot him, just shoot him. And he's like, the guy's trying to shoot him with the shotgun. That was the funny part. He's trying to shoot him with the shotgun, and he just stands there and just like cocks a shotgun for him.
And lets him shoot.
So he shot the guy. That's when he shot the guy in the face. But yeah. So it was one of those. I thought I looked at box office numbers, okay, and I originally thought like, wow, this movie did great at the box office for something I never heard of, and I was wrong. It was a complete bomb. It bombed at the box office, like post toward the tail end of COVID. So we can't really blame COVID, But yeah, this was a miss, even with those big names, man. Just Mel Gibson and Famke Jensen, Tyrese Gibson, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to get the movie,
No,
to where they wanted it. But yeah, I'd say skip this one unless you just want a cheesy little action flick to give you a couple of chuckles. So that's what it did. It just gave me a couple of little chuckles here and there, but otherwise a forgettable film, I'd say.
I would say this though, just to close off. So in case you guys were wondering how the film ends, bad guys all die. They were the financiers of the island, and they came for their money back. So they were going to just start killing everybody off to steal the gold, and they just so happened to be the same squad as our hero was a
Steve
mercenary
Forrester.
with.
Yeah,
So that's obviously
that's the connection.
convenient.
Hmm.
Um, Solid writing, boys. Solid writing. Uh, we're gonna leave it at that. So it's a do not recommend for me.
Yeah, same, same.
But if you're ready to wash that out of your mouth, I like to present to you The Strain. I am a fan of Kevin Durant. I've seen him in a bunch of other things. I know he was just in the last Planet of the Apes movie where he played the main villain. I haven't watched it. I heard it was really good though. But The Strain on FX. So if you have Hulu, you have access to FX's library. Came out in 2014. A lot of good players, actor-wise, in the film, in the series. Sorry, Sean Astin's in the first season. For us, our generation, that's Rudy or Mikey from Goonies. The villain from Ant-Man is in it. He's one of the mains. And then you see other B actors from other things. Like one of the characters is from Inglourious Basterds, one's from the Harry Potter series, and it's all about vampires, right? So Guillermo del Toro, who is a great director, made like the Hellboy series, um, The Shape of Water, and a bunch of other stuff. This was his television masterpiece. So he was behind this creation. It's 4 seasons long. It's fantastic. Kevin Durant is a phenomenal actor in this. He's one of the heroes, and basically it's about the global domination of vampires. So it starts at like a sarcophagus level, and then emerges to be like a worldwide, pandemic, and then the human resistance that's now fighting them by the end of the series. So it's based on a series of books. I can't recommend it enough. Phenomenal show. And if you guys are like World War II fans, there is like a fair amount of flashback sequences to World War II, specifically around the concentration camps, because one of the villains is a Nazi, and everybody loves killing Nazis. So fucking A, man.
Sweet. And I've always wanted to see that show actually, and
Oh,
I
it's
just never got the opportunity.
fantastic.
Yeah, and it's playing on FX and Hulu.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. Well, my recommendation is I'm on part two of the Anthony Mackie Redemption Tour.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and recommend Elevation, right? So this movie recently came out, so now it's on Max. And basically it's a post-apocalyptic movie, which I love apocalypse type movies. These creatures for some reason have started to kill everyone below 8,000 feet, elevation. We don't know
Huh.
why, and they never explain why in the movie. So um so Anthony Mackie character has a son who of course has like a condition that he needs medicine, and you got to go below the 8,000 feet to go get it, that kind of thing. Mom's already dead, we know the story. So he goes on with Morena Baccarin, who plays like she's like a doctor trying to figure out how to kill these creatures. Love that woman, she's gorgeous. So basically he takes the two, there's him and another woman that want to go on the mission with him to
Mhm.
try to get this medicine for his son. And he's not completely forthcoming with the danger of the trip. So it's like, oh yeah, we'll only be below elevation of maybe 200 yards, and it turns into 10,000 yards, something ridiculous, right? Because the mine that they're trying to go through has been blocked, and of course now we don't have another way, so we have to go into the danger zone. Um, they go through, they make it through. She's still trying to work a way to combat these creatures. So she's working on like, okay, well, they seem armored, and maybe if I can make this kind of bullet, which is crazy, but I'm gonna paint the bullet with like some magnesium compound that's gonna blow up the whole creature, which miraculously she developed and it worked toward the end, and that's where she comes and like saves the day with her magic bullet. Um, but
Yay.
overall, it's a cheesy creature apocalypse movie. It's a fun watch. It's one of those like, okay, all right, it's what you would expect, right? You got creatures from, like War of the World type thing, and they're only destroying humans. And the crazy part was they're just predators for humans. They don't kill any animals. They don't even eat. the human, they just kill them. So it's almost like they're sent down just to exterminate. And we don't know exactly what the origin, but it leads you to believe it's of alien origin because they're almost like machinery. And of course, at the end, it leads to there's going to be a part two because now they've just they discovered how to combat them and fight. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually did have enough success with this one to come up with a part two. But it's not a terrible movie to watch. It is like I said, worth about an hour and a half of your time if you want to watch something on Max. And like I said, Anthony Mackie, good dude, man. Pretty solid as far as an actor. Just sometimes, it's just the projects you pick. And I love Marina Baccarin, and I support whatever she's in. Um, from V all the way to Deadpool to this. So, if you want to watch something to get a quick little apocalypse fix, check out Elevation on Max.
Hmm. Yeah, it kind of gave off a little bit of a B film to me, so I
Yeah,
wasn't super
it is that.
interested. It's interesting to see like these what we would perceive as bigger stars kind of dipping their toes into shallower waters. Um, but hey man, seeing a film like that, because when I saw the trailer, I was like, eh. Um, if Max picked it up, either they're desperate for content or they see something there, so it might generate enough interest to warrant that sequel. And if it was made cheap enough, I wouldn't
All
see
right.
why they wouldn't keep pumping them out.
Yeah,
So
true, true.
interesting. Maybe I'll give it another chance. Like I said, the trailer didn't do much for me, but maybe.
Yeah.
But hey,
All
man,
right.
you want to talk the trailer of the week?
Yeah, man. Let's see what this Netflix, I believe, is coming on Netflix.
Yep, April
Okay.
25th.
April 25th. Havoc.
So it looks like we got Tom Hardy doing his police thing.
Oh yeah, we have no idea what they're doing in this, but there are police involved. Forrest Whitaker's in this. Like, come on, can't beat Forrest Whitaker. So you have an Academy Award winner and an Academy Award nominee.
Yep, that's
Um,
right. Tom
it
Hardy,
does,
man.
and I love the trailer because it doesn't tell you what the plot is, but there's going to be a lot of action, a lot of gunplay, a lot of John Wickness to it.
Yep.
To me, that's enough to warrant a watch. I don't think I've seen too many bad movies starring Hardy or Whitaker. So you put the two together, I'm thinking at least I'm getting a Repo Man out of this. I'm getting something worth a watch. So I love The Revenant. Like I said, that's one of my favorite Tom Hardy movies, the one in which he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And as we all know, Forrest Whitaker is that guy. He's one of those leading men that's like, wow, okay, you really got this job based on your acting skills, which is refreshing, right? It's not always, oh, well, you just look good on screen. No, the dude got some acting skills.
Yeah,
So
man.
it looks to be a very good movie. It comes, like I said, it comes out on Netflix April 25th. So I will be there next month to check that out. But we have some other stuff coming up before that. But
For
it
sure.
looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Huge fan of Gareth Edwards, the director. He made the Raid Redemption 2, and I believe the first Godzilla.
Mm.
Timothy Olyphant's also in it. I'm a huge Justified fan. So, man, yeah, I think this is gonna be solid. It's gonna be a solid flick. Definitely give me the Street Kings kind of vibe.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, and before we head out, I want to talk about one of our veteran owned businesses, and this is
Yeah, man.
called Three Brothers Transmission, and they're located on 5325 Beach Road in Temple Hills, Maryland. I have personally used this place. They are very, very good, very efficient, cost friendly, in my opinion. They will basically be very upfront and honest with what's going on with your vehicle. They won't overcharge you as far as I'm concerned. And it does benefit, the community at large. They don't do like body work, but everything else in between, like brakes, transmissions, engines, all that stuff they do. Very, very nice, courteous, good service. That dude literally like remembers you. Like you go in there, he's like, "Oh yeah." Like I go in there, he's like, "You have the YouTube channel, right?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, shoot. How do you remember?" Like, "Yeah, you drive the great car." I'm like, okay, wow. Like he dude remembers my car and everything, and they're very personable. So they keep return business. So I told them definitely I would shout them out. Um, I've had
Absolutely.
no complaints. Like if you look on their reviews, they have great reviews. Like don't take my word for it, but go on do a Google search. But if you're looking for, auto repairs, Three Brothers Transmission, Temple Hills, Maryland, I think you could do a lot worse than those guys. And I
Yeah,
know it's
man. Go
hard.
out.
It's hard finding repair shops, man, because you always feel like they're getting you.
Yeah.
It's like, what? I got unicorn piss in my engine. You don't know. Like, so Yeah, I would definitely go with these guys if you need to work on your car, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man. Support fucking local veteran-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
Take care of each other. All right, man. So that's pretty much going to wrap us up for this week's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed our running commentary and were able to keep up with the narrative because God knows it was a challenge. So thanks for
It
coming
was.
out. Like, click, subscribe, and over to you, Nick.
Hey man, till next time, man. Take care of each other. Be friendly. Be nice. Be nice. If you can't do anything else, be nice. Thick Nick
Fucking
Fury
A.
out.
Bad